So I've got my seed potatoes really nice and early this year. I've got three varieties. I've got 2.5 kilos of Kestrel, 5 kilos of Wilger. Both of those are second earlies and ones that I've tried before and they do really well. And the variety I think I've had the most success with, as in harvest and just yield, is Desiree. But I always struggle to get Desiree later in the season. I think they must be a really popular potato variety. They're a red potato and very versatile, and I think they've just become very popular. And sometimes I've had a couple of years where I've actually not been able to get them. So I got in nice and early this year. Like I say, 2.5 kilos of Kestrel, 5 kilos of Wilger, and I ordered this 25 kilo sack of Desiree. So what I'm hoping to do this year, I'm massively increasing my potato growing, and what I'm hoping to do is to be completely self-sufficient for myself, but I would also like, as my parents are getting older, to provide them with all their potatoes. Nice thing to do. Also, my mate who comes and helps me at the farm, he helps me with hedge cutting and various other jobs, and anytime I need a second pair of hands really, he comes and helps me. So I'd like to give him, you know, a good bag of potatoes every weekend when he comes over. And also my son's moved out with his girlfriend. I'd like to keep him in potatoes too. So the way of sort of roughly working out your yields for potatoes, for every kilo of seed potatoes that you plant, you should get 10 to 12 kilos of eating potatoes. That's main crop. I think first and second earlies are slightly less, at about 7 kilos from what I remember. So potentially, so I've got 32.5 kilos of seed potatoes here, 25 of them being main crop. So you know, I'm looking at, hopefully, if I go on an average of 10 kilos per kilo of seed potatoes, I'm looking at getting 325 kilos of potato sweet, which should keep all of us hopefully in potatoes for most of the year. So this year, what I'm doing, because in the past I'd probably do most I've ever done is probably about 10 kilos, I should imagine, and I've just done them on the table, on the windowsills, like most people do. But obviously with this sort of volume, and this early in the season, obviously I don't want them to freeze. They've got to be kept cool, well ventilated, but really I don't want them to start chitting yet, so they've got to be dark as well. You only really want the light once they start chitting. So I was sort of racking my brains what to do, and I was looking at buying some stackable plastic crates to keep here in the garage. I even thought of putting them in the caravan down at the Smallholding. The caravan's a bit mouldy and damp now, and I thought perhaps the humidity would be a bit too high, and also if we get a really, really cold night, they could potentially freeze. I suppose I could put a paraffin heater on, but that's all extra cost. So I suddenly remembered that I've got this old fruit storage cupboard that was given to me. This was given to me by one of my gardening customers when they moved house, and all I did, it was all open and wired, and all I did was put some wood on it all round and a little cupboard at the top. And me and my wife had this in our sweet shop for 6 years. We owned a sweet shop, and we used to run that, and I made this throughout the back to keep paper and packaging stuff in. Completely forgot I had it. It's here in the garage right in front of me, but I just totally forgot it was there. And my wife said, why don't you just use that? So I'll come out here tonight, and what I'm going to do is put them in here. Now the good thing with this is, obviously, so this is for storing your apples and things like that. It's a fruit storage container, so I'm filling the trays up, but because I've made it into a cupboard, it is going to keep them nice and dark. Obviously we're here in the garage, when the light's off it's dark, and just being enclosed like this, it will keep them completely dark until I'm ready to add light to get them to chit. So when I want to chit them, I can either keep them in the trays and put them in perhaps the dining room, but the wife probably won't be too happy if I take up the whole dining room table and more with potatoes. So what I'm thinking is, because there is a gap between the sides and the rails that the trays go on, I might get some of these strip grow lights. If you look on Amazon, places like that, for about 20 quid, you can get strip lights that are long strips, and you can get about 3 meters for about 20 quid. So what I'm thinking is, if I run a little wire, I might run 2 rows of strip lights up each side, so that I've got 2 rows each side, spaced out, shining light right into the and light in the whole cupboard. So this can be a storage cupboard to keep them cool and dark. But then when I'm ready to chip them, I can put the grow lights on a timer and just have it come on, you know, 12, 16 hours. I'll have to have a bit of a research what's best. Maybe 12 hours a day. Some of them come with timers built in. And I just think, hopefully, I'm keeping my fingers crossed, hopefully this will work. You know, it is a bit of a test. Anything over about 12C, potatoes can start to chip. Well, the garage at the moment is 10C. And obviously it depends on daytime temperature, but there's quite a lot of ventilation. The garage door isn't sealed and the back door's got a big gap under it, so there's always a bit of airflow, so it's nice and ventilated, and like I say, with light off, it is dark. So I'm just hoping I can keep them cool enough to stop them chitting, and if they do start, then I'll have to perhaps put the lights on, or find, because I can't think of a way really to cool them if the weather does get a bit milder. But I'm hoping this will help. So I'm getting on a tray, so that's 2.5 kilos of the second early varieties. They easily fit on the tray. So with the Desiree, I reckon I must be getting a good 8 kilos a tray, I should imagine. And I've got another 7 trays. So yeah, they're gonna fit nice and easily. And the air can get through because the bottom of the cupboard is open, and the air can get through there nicely. So this is what I'm going to try, and this is the sort of start of my journey to being completely self-sufficient in potatoes, not only for me, for my parents, my son and my mate. So this is the plan, and I will follow forward because I've got lots of things planned with my potatoes. I'm going to be doing them in containers with a automatic watering system, but I'm also going to be doing them with the old ridge and furrow as normal. I left my potato patch for a year, so this year I'm going to get it nicely tilled, and I've got enough compost to be able to give them a good feed as I plant them. So I'm really hoping this year to become a bit more of an expert in growing potatoes. So yeah, if you're interested, follow me along on the channel and subscribe, and hopefully we're going to have over 300 kilos of potatoes this year. Anyway guys, take it easy and we will see you next time.